The Second World War saw many incredible aircraft take to the skies. One aircraft stands out for its reliability and versatility, the Douglas C-47 Skytrain, affectionately known as the Dakota. This twin-engine transport aircraft became a familiar sight on every front of the war. The Dakota's impact on the war effort was immense. It transported troops, towed gliders, dropped paratroopers, and delivered vital supplies. The Dakota's rugged design and dependability earned it a special place in the hearts of the men and women who flew and were supported by it. It could operate from short, unprepared runways. This made it ideal for the challenging conditions of wartime operations. Whether landing in the deserts of North Africa or the jungles of the Pacific, the Dakota could be relied upon. The Dakota's story is one of resilience, adaptability, and unwavering service. It is a testament to the ingenuity of its designers and the bravery of its crews. This essay will explore the history of this iconic aircraft. We will delve into its remarkable contributions during the Second World War. The Dakota's legacy extends far beyond the battlefields. It went on to have a long and distinguished career in both military and civilian service. Join us as we uncover the story of the legendary Dakota, a true unsung hero of World War II. The story of the Dakota begins not on the battlefields of World War II, but in the relative peace of the pre-war years. In the 1930s, the Douglas Aircraft Company was developing a new passenger plane, the DC-3. This innovative aircraft revolutionized air travel with its speed, comfort, and reliability. With the outbreak of war in Europe in 1939, it quickly became apparent that the DC-3's attributes would be invaluable to the military. The United States Army Air Forces saw the potential of the DC-3 for military transport. They ordered a modified version designated the C-47 Skytrain. However, it was the name Dakota that stuck with the British and Commonwealth aircrews who would come to rely on it so heavily. Production of the Dakota ramped up quickly to meet the demands of the growing conflict. Thousands of these aircraft rolled off the assembly lines. They were soon serving on every front of the war. The Dakota's simple but robust design made it easy to manufacture and maintain. This was essential given the sheer scale of wartime production. The Dakota's fuselage was wider than its predecessor, the DC-2. This allowed for more cargo or passengers. It was powered by two powerful Pratt and Whitney radial engines. These gave it a top speed of around 230 miles per hour. It had a range of over 1,500 miles. The Dakota was known for its versatility and durability. It could operate in a variety of environments, from rough airstrips to challenging terrains. The aircraft was also used for medical evacuation, saving countless lives. It played a crucial role in airborne operations, dropping paratroopers behind enemy lines. After the war, many Dakotas were converted back to civilian use, continuing their legacy in commercial aviation. Today, the Dakota remains a symbol of innovation and resilience, with many still flying in various roles around the world. The Dakota's versatility was one of its greatest strengths. It could be adapted to a wide range of missions. This made it an indispensable asset to the Allied war effort. The Dakota's primary role was as a transport aircraft. It ferried troops, supplies, and equipment to battlefields across the globe. The Dakota's ability to operate from short, unprepared runways proved invaluable in this role. It could land on grass strips, muddy fields, and even beaches. This allowed it to deliver supplies to frontline troops who would otherwise have been cut off. It could also evacuate wounded soldiers from makeshift airstrips close to the fighting. In addition to its transport role, the Dakota was also adapted for other vital missions. It was used to tow gliders filled with troops and equipment. This was a key part of airborne operations such as the D-Day landings and Operation Market Garden. The Dakota could tow up to 2 large gliders. The Dakota was also modified to drop paratroopers behind enemy lines. This required special equipment to allow the paratroopers to exit the aircraft safely. The Dakota's spacious cabin could accommodate up to 28 paratroopers with their equipment. Section 4: D-Day Deliverance, Operation Overlord, and the Dakota's Finest Hour. The D-Day landings in Normandy on June 6, 1944 were a pivotal moment in World War II. This massive amphibious invasion, codenamed Operation Overlord, was the largest seaborne invasion in history and marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The success of this massive operation hinged on the ability of the Allied forces to get ashore and establish a foothold in Nazi-occupied France. The beaches of Normandy were heavily fortified and the German defenses were formidable. The Dakota played a crucial role in the success of D-Day. Known for its reliability and versatility, the C-47 Dakota was the workhorse of the Allied Air Forces. On the night of June 5th and into the early hours of June 6th, thousands of Allied paratroopers boarded their Dakotas. These brave men were part of the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions, tasked with a critical mission. They prepared to embark on one of the most daring airborne operations in history. Their objective was to drop behind enemy lines and secure key positions to support the beach landings. As the sun began to rise, wave after wave of Dakotas, towing gliders and carrying paratroopers, filled the skies over Normandy. The sight of these aircraft in formation was both awe-inspiring and a testament to the meticulous planning of the operation. They flew through heavy anti-aircraft fire. The skies were filled with tracer rounds and flak, creating a deadly gauntlet for the pilots and crews. Their mission was to land behind enemy lines and secure key bridges and crossroads. These strategic points were vital for preventing German reinforcements from reaching the beaches and counterattacking the Allied forces. This would prevent German reinforcements from reaching the beaches. The paratroopers fought fiercely to hold these positions, knowing that the success of the entire invasion depended on their efforts. The Dakota crews faced intense enemy fire. Many aircraft were hit, some were lost. The bravery and determination of these crews were extraordinary as they pressed on despite the dangers. But the majority pressed on with their mission. They knew that failure was not an option, and their resolve was unshakable. They delivered their precious cargo of paratroopers and gliders to their designated drop zones. The success of these drops was crucial for the overall success of the invasion. The success of the D-Day landings owed a great deal to the bravery and skill of the Dakota crews. Their ability to navigate through hostile skies and deliver their troops accurately was a key factor in the operation's success. They faced overwhelming odds to deliver the airborne forces that were so crucial to the operation's success. The courage displayed by these crews under fire was nothing short of heroic. The D-Day landings marked a turning point in the war in Europe. The successful establishment of a beachhead in Normandy allowed the Allies to begin their push towards Germany, ultimately leading to the liberation of occupied Europe. The Dakota had played a vital role in this historic victory. Its contributions to the success of Operation Overlord cannot be overstated. The bravery and sacrifice of the Dakota crews on that fateful day will never be forgotten. Their actions helped change the course of history and ensured the freedom of future generations. Section 5. Holding the line. Supplying the troops in the Battle of the Bulge. As the Allied armies pushed eastward into Germany in the fall of 1944, they encountered fierce resistance in the Ardennes forest. The dense woods and rugged terrain made it a formidable battleground. The German army, in a desperate counteroffensive, launched a surprise attack on December 16th. This sudden assault aimed to split the Allied lines and capture the vital Belgian port of Antwerp. This became known as the Battle of the Bulge, named for the bulge the German advance created in the Allied front lines. The Allied forces were caught off guard. Many units were understrength and ill-prepared for the ferocity of the German attack. They were forced to fight back in a desperate attempt to hold the line. The battle quickly turned into a brutal struggle for survival. The harsh winter conditions made resupply by land extremely difficult. Snow and ice clogged the roads, and visibility was often near zero. The Dakota once again proved its worth in this critical situation. These versatile aircraft were called upon to perform a vital role. Despite heavy snow, freezing temperatures, and enemy fire, the Dakotas flew around the clock. Their missions were fraught with danger, but they pressed on undeterred. They delivered vital supplies to the besieged American troops. Parachutes blossomed over the snowy landscape, bringing hope and sustenance. The Dakotas brought in food, ammunition, medical supplies, and winter clothing. Each delivery was a lifeline to the soldiers on the ground. These supplies were essential in enabling the American forces to withstand the German onslaught. Without them, the situation could have been dire. The Dakotas also evacuated wounded soldiers from makeshift airstrips. This was a critical operation, as it ensured that the injured received the care they desperately needed. This ensured they received timely medical attention. The bravery of the medical teams and air crews saved countless lives. The Battle of the Bulge was one of the bloodiest battles of the war. The fighting was intense, and the stakes were incredibly high. The Dakota played a crucial role in helping the Allies to win this pivotal battle. Their relentless efforts ensured that the front lines held. The resilience and determination of the Dakota crews, who braved enemy fire and treacherous weather conditions, saved countless lives and helped turn the tide of the battle. Their heroism remains a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought in the Battle of the Bulge. Section 6. Wings over Burma. The Dakota's vital role in the China-Burma-India theater. While the Dakota was making a significant contribution to the war in Europe, it was also playing a vital role in the China-Burma-India theater. This often forgotten theater of World War II saw some of the most challenging flying conditions imaginable. The Himalayas, known as the Hump, presented a formidable obstacle to Allied air crews. The Japanese capture of Burma in 1942 cut off the Burma Road. This was the main land route for supplying the Chinese nationalist forces fighting the Japanese. The only way to get supplies to the Chinese was by air. The Dakota became the lifeline for the Chinese war effort. The Dakotas flew over the treacherous Himalayan mountains in all weather conditions. They carried supplies from India to airfields in China. The flights were perilous. The aircraft were often overloaded. They faced high winds, treacherous mountain passes, and the constant threat of Japanese fighters. The pilots and crews who flew the Hump displayed incredible skill and bravery. Many Dakotas were lost to accidents and enemy fire. However, the vast majority made it through. They delivered the vital supplies that allowed the Chinese forces to continue their fight against the Japanese. Section 7. Beyond the battlefield. The Dakota's humanitarian missions. The Dakota's contributions during World War II extended beyond the battlefield. This versatile aircraft was also involved in numerous humanitarian missions. It played a crucial role in rescuing downed airmen and evacuating civilians from war-torn areas. One notable example of the Dakota's humanitarian service was Operation Chowhound. This operation took place in the final days of the war in Europe. Allied air crews dropped tons of food supplies to starving civilians in German-occupied Holland. The Dutch people were facing a desperate situation. Food was scarce, and many were on the brink of starvation. The Dakotas flew low over designated drop zones, parachuting food supplies to those in need. The operation was a resounding success. It provided much-needed relief to the Dutch people. It also demonstrated the compassion and humanity of the Allied forces. The Dakota's role in Operation Chowhound is just one example of the many ways in which this remarkable aircraft was used to alleviate suffering and save lives during the war. Its ability to operate from short, unprepared runways made it ideal for reaching those in need, even in the most challenging of circumstances.